Hello guys, welcome to Fitness and Tech Insights. Okay, today we are going to, this is our lesson 3 in the Solidworks tutorial, and we are going to look at how to do 3D models using the Revolve tool. Okay, so as usual, we go to our new. So we go to our new, we open a new part. Of course, you know, we are still drawing parts. We haven't gotten to the stage of assembly. So we open a new part, and as you can see, our part working environment has opened. So we want to draw a wine glass. So you look at your screen, you see the wine glass on the screen. We want to replicate it using the Revolve tool. Okay, now one basic thing you need to understand about the Revolve tool is that the Revolve tool works based on the principle of half section profile of the object. Now what do I mean? I mean, before you can revolve before you can use Revolve to draw a particular object, basically the object should be symmetrical. What I mean by symmetrical is that if we cut the object into two along any axis, what we have on one side will be exactly the same thing we have on the other side, maybe probably laterally inverted. Okay, so that's if you have something like that, something like a football, you know that if we cut a football into two, what we have, one half is exactly the same thing with the other half. So such objects can be drawn with Revolve. Okay, so today we want to look at the wine glass. Now, if we want to draw an object with Revolve, what we need is half of the cross section of the object. You know what we mean by cross section? If we cut the object into two from the center, now that face, that profile, that face we are seeing, the point where the knife edge touches is the cross section of the object. So half of it is what we need to draw the wine glass. So you're seeing the wine glass, and we are going to try to sketch half of the profile of the wine glass. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to start in my front plane. So I'm going to open a sketch on my front plane. So front plane, sketch. Okay, now we've opened the sketch on our front plane. Now we're not drawing with dimensions, so it's more or less a free hand sketch. We're not drawing with dimensions, so it may not, ours may not be exactly the wine glass we have on the screen, but it's definitely going to look like a wine glass when we are done. So I'm going to go to my line. I want to draw half of the cross section. You're seeing the wine glass in front view, so half of it gives us half of the cross section. So if we cut it into two, we are going to see something like this. So let's say we're going to see something like this. Okay, this should be the center point, that's the cutting plane. Okay, and then we are going to put another line here at the top of the glass. Okay, so we're going to put another line here. Okay, so for the escape, so for the curved part, we are going to use spline tool. I'm going to do this zoom to fit. Okay, good, zoom to fit. So we're going to see every part of it on our screen. Now we're going to use a spline. The spline permits you to draw free curves that you can bend freely at will. So we're going to use a spline here. So I'm going to pick my spline. The spline is a free forming tool, so you can see. So we are starting from here. I'm going to click. So I'll just try to imitate the profile of the glass we have here. I'll just try to imitate the profile. Okay, so okay, if I click here, you see, can you see, once I click here, I can bend it. So once I click here, I can bend it. Anywhere I click, it becomes more or less fixed, so I can bend it. Okay, so I'm just drawing with free hand. So okay, so I'll click here, and you can see I can bend it. Yeah, so okay, so I'll click again. I'll click. I'm trying to put my points close so that, you know, when your points are closer together, you can get a better curve. Okay, so you can see what we are doing. Okay, so so I'm going to leave this as the thickness of the glass. Yes, as the thickness for Revolve. Okay, so I'm going to leave this, and okay, so I will double click. So when I double click, I will escape from the spline tool. So you see, it has freed me up So I'm going to click good, and then I'm going to pick a line now, because of course this side is going to be vertical. So I'm going to pick a line. Pick a line. This right down, representing the base of the glass. So remember, we're not drawing with any particular dimension, so I'm just going to use any length. Let's see, let's dimension and see. Let's dimension and see. Okay, so I want to dimension from this point to this point. So okay, I'm not seeing it on the screen, so I'm going to do my zoom to fit, and let's delete, that's not the right dimension. Okay, so we go again, we pick the dimension tool. So this is the line I want to dimension, so I'm going to, it's 28.5, but looking at the glass, I think we need it to be a little bit longer. So can we make it 40? Let's see what 40 will look like. We make it 40. Okay, the 40, the dimensioning does not affect it, so I'm going to put another line. I'm going to put another line to make it quite longer. Okay, so I think this length should do. I think this length should do. So I'm going to zoom to fit. Good. I think this length should do. Then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use line and bring this down. So I'll bring this down, and okay, so about the same thickness, and we also use a straight line to get the base of the glass. So we can use a straight line to get the base of the glass. Good. So thank you. So you can see what we have here. We may want to fillet here. We may want to fillet, put a fillet here. We may not want it to be flat, and we may not want the edge, it to have an edge, just like we have here. So we can pick our fillet, and entities, we select this and this, then we are going to put our fillet angle. I think that length is 2, so we can fillet by 1. So I'm going to select this and this. Can you see? Or we could make this 1.5. I want the curve to be more, so 1.5. Okay, so I think we have this. So this is good. We click on good. So I'm going to go back to zoom to fit, and then at this point, you can see the excess of this line. So I'm going to trim this line, the excess. We want it to stop at this point. Okay, so I'm going to trim it to ensure that this particular curve stops at this point. Now we pick our trim, and we do trim to closest. Okay, it's already there, so we trim this and we trim this. Okay, so we are going to trim this, and we have good. So I'm going back to zoom to fit. Now you can see what we have. We already have the half of the profile of the wine glass, as we said earlier. Now the only way Solidworks is going to identify the axis to revolve, we have to tell it the axis. Now look at this, we have two axes. We have the vertical axis, this is the vertical axis, and we have the horizontal axis. So if we decide to revolve now, the software may not really know the axis we want it to revolve, and there is a possibility it might revolve it along the wrong axis, and we are going to get a completely different shape from what we planned. So in order to tell Solidworks to revolve it around the vertical axis, of course we want to revolve it around the vertical axis because the section we did is a vertical section. So we come to line. Instead of selecting our regular line, I'm going to click on this arrow and get a center line. So I'm going to put a center line on that axis we want to revolve. So I'm drawing it on top of the existing line. It doesn't matter. The moment the software sees the center line, it already knows it's going to revolve it along that axis. Okay, so I'm going to escape. We've drawn our center line. So I'm going to escape, and I hope the center line worked because okay, so I'm going to exit this sketch. I'm going to exit this sketch, and then we go to our revolve. So I'm selecting my revolve. Can you see this? Wow, can you see what we have? Let's do zoom to it. Okay, so this is what we have now. It's a complete solid. It's not hollow. What I mean, it's not hollow, it's not open where we can pour our wine. So we could come to thin features. So we could come to thin features, or we could come to, okay, let's leave it like this for now. Let's leave it like this for now. And I'm going to cancel it. Okay, so let's redo the revolve. So do our revolve, and good. So good, so you can see, what we have. You can see, let me try and rotate it. So let me try and turn this around, so you see you have an idea. So this is what we have. But like I said earlier, the wine glass is solid, so it's not open. We can't pour our wine yet, so we are still going to do something to that. Okay, so I'm going to escape from the revolve tool. Now we are going to shell this glass. We are going to shell this glass so that it opens it up and makes inside hollow. So I'm going to select my shell tool, and 100, we just want a tiny thickness, maybe probably the same thickness with the hand or whatever. So we are going to use 2 as our thickness. Let's see what. And then for the surfaces, I'm going to select this as the surface, because this is the surface I want to select, I want to remove. And then I'm going to click on show preview. I'm going to click on show preview to see what we have. Okay, so let's try 3. I'm clicking on this face, and let's see. The thickness value is greater than the minimum radius of. Okay, so we have a radius of a smaller radius. So let's make the thickness 1. Let's make the thickness 1. Let's make the thickness 1 and see. I think we have a radius smaller than that. 1. Thank you. And this is the face we want to show, right? Good. This is the face. Show preview. You can see it has shown a preview, which means this particular shell is going to work. Okay, so again I rotate. You can see our wine glass. Wow, so this looks really nice. Can you see the wine glass? I'm going to put it in the front plane so that it looks like our sketch when we started. Okay, so I'm putting it back in isometry. So this is our wine glass, which we have drawn using the revolve tool. Okay, look at ours. It's not looking anything like a glass, so we can come and add appearance to it. Let's make it look a little bit realistic. So you can see I go to my task pane. This part is called my task pane. So I click my appearance. I'm going to click on appearance. Can you see appearance? Let me expand on the plus button. We are going to see a list of different materials. So I'm going to use glass. I'll expand on it. Glass. So we have different types of glass. Gloss, this. So maybe let's just use the first one, gloss. Can you see the different glasses we have? So okay, let's make it look a little bit fine. Let's use this green white. This green color looks, this green glass looks nice. So I'm just going to select it and release it on the object. Okay, let's go back. I'm going to select it, release it on the object. Can you see what we have? So we have our, okay, sorry, I'm going to repeat that stage. I think I'm select it, release it. What do we have? Body. Yes, the entire body. Good. So I have made the entire body glass. So let's rotate again and see what we have. So this is our wine glass. So seeing this alone makes me want to drink champagne. Okay, so this is what we have. So I'm going to put it back in my front view, in my isometric, and this is our wine glass. Okay, so thank you very much. There are so many other things we can draw with revolve. We can draw pulleys with revolve. We can draw anything, balls, like I said earlier, as long as the object is symmetrical. If you cut it into 2, the shape on the right side or up is exactly the shape below or the left side. As long as the object is symmetrical, you can always draw it with revolve. Okay, so I think that will bring us to the end of this lesson 3. So in our next class, we are going to look at how to draw objects also with lofts, and after that we are going to look at how to draw objects with sweep. So thank you very much for your time. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you in my next video.